guys, I don't know how long I have on my phone, but I wanted to come on here and just talk to you guys a little bit. In some of my videos I've talked to you about my health and my detoxing journey when I first started to really awaken. Some time ago, let me see, like a couple years ago, around November 2018, when I turned 40, I was led to Dr. Morse's site. Now before that, I was looking into and doing some stuff with Dr. Sebi's stuff, his sea moss drinks, trying to help my thyroid. I had come across Dr. Jennifer Daniels and learned about what happened to her and her being silenced and different things she went through because of her helping people to heal in a non-conventional way, which is helping people to really boost their immune systems and stuff like that. Now, I don't ever stop in one place. I want to keep learning and growing, and so my path led me to Dr. Morse, and I've been on this journey. Sorry, some cars went by. I've been on a journey for quite some time now, since that awakening around 40 years old, and age to me is just a number, but I definitely knew that I wanted to fix my health. I wanted to go after the cause and to really be opened up to wisdom in this. And so the answers came to me, and I was sent to exactly the people that I needed to be sent to, and others were sent to me who actually had gone through Dr. Morse's protocols and had some herbs and stuff like that to use, and I was able to barter with them and just had some really, really great conversations. And I just want to say that for me, the reason why I've come to this point is because as a kid I was very sick, like I was talking about. I had lots of fungus, warts all over my hands. I had mono for 3.5 months when I was in 4th grade. I had ear infections all the time. I had what they called growing pains. I had sinus infections all the time, bronchitis all the time. What else did I have? Those were the basic things. I had a very weak bladder. I didn't know that was related to my kidneys. I was depressed, didn't know that was related to my thyroid and my adrenals and stuff like that. I basically had my autonomic nervous system completely shut down, and I just, I just did what I was told because I was, a so-called child. And so as I got into my teenage years, I ended up with hypothyroidism, and then that turned into Hashimoto's. I had 4 miscarriages, 2 healthy births, followed by 2 miscarriages, and then 1 healthy birth, and then 5 years later, 2 more miscarriages, followed by 2 healthy births. And I just want to say that when I was going in for all of this, the doctors were telling me that it was normal, that, if it was an unhealthy fetus, there's something wrong with the egg, the sperm, and stuff like that, that my body was just going to reject it, which is, yeah, if there's something wrong, my body is going to do that. I was very, very unhealthy, very acidic, and I'm still dealing with this, but they weren't helping me ever to go after the cause. They just said, keep trying. When I had discharge and stuff like that, they just gave me cream. When I had the bladder problems, they just, looked to see if there was some kind of physical problems, and, they could go in and do surgery. Never looking at the organs, never looking at my glands, anything like that. They didn't look at my whole body. And with the depression, they just, like a lot of times they do, they just link that to a mental type of issues. So sorry, another car. Anyways, what I was saying is everything is really interconnected, and there's the source of the problems. You have to go inside, and there's emotional issues that we have to deal with, there's mental issues, there's physical issues, and a backdoor in really is to go after the physical body to be able to heal and then to allow things to fall into place. That is a very easy way, well, not an easy way, that is a path that some people are more open to. So it becomes easier because what you're open to is going to help you. Whereas if you just say, hey, let's look at this spiritual matter, some people are very closed off to that. So anyways, I just wanted to come on here and talk, just saying that for me, the final thing that happened was that when I was going into the doctors and hearing about the miscarriages, and then they were, you know, I had some arthritic type of symptoms. I was very tired. They were looking into lupus, sending me all over the place, cancer doctors and stuff like that, and wanted to put me on prednisone, and I just was like, my symptoms are not that bad, so I will just deal with it, and I want to go after the cause. Are you going to heal me or not, right? I was looking outside of myself. But since I was seeing them, I wanted to know, what were they going to do for me? And when I heard they weren't going to, and then when I saw in my chart, when I went off of the different, you know, thyroid medicine that they gave me, and I went to Nature Thyroid at the time, it was like in my chart that patient did not follow doctor's orders. Now I'm going to fast forward to after CPS came in, and my health really took a dive because I was in majorly, I was already in survival mode all my life, but I was living off of the hormones of stress for a very, very long time, and we are not made to live that way. And I was trying to protect me and my unborn baby and my family. You know, I did not want my little ones to be taken from me. And so anyways, living in stress for that long really took a toll on my body, and what ended up happening is everything I was trying to do to protect backfired, and that is what actually woke me up, because one of my biggest fears was, and I was living off of fear, that was the force driving me. I was trying to protect them, and I did not want them taken. That was like my biggest fear, and all of them, all 5 of them got taken. And when I was at the hospital in Newport, Oregon, and I was not able to leave the hospital, they locked the doors, they would not let me leave with my newborn. CPS came, and let me let you guys know that in the false allegation that was made, the 2 of them, they never had a trial by jury. They never had convictions or arrests or anything like that. Now, when I was deported back from Mexico with my family, they deported and they charged me at that time with parental interference, but I had full custody when I went to Mexico, and we were there for 7.5 months. It wasn't until we were there for over 2 months that they gave temporary custody to my husband, but they lied in the paperwork and said that I abducted them and ran to Mexico. And so that is what they ended up doing. So when we got deported back, we didn't have passports or anything. We were refugees trying to, you know, live. And it was hard for my teenage daughters at the time, and we were very stressed. And so they wanted to come back home. They let people know where we were, and we were sent back, and I was arrested and never taken in, but they let me go and said, you know, show up at court. They dropped me off in California, pregnant, 7.5 months pregnant. I had a dress, no money, no food. I had to find my way home. And when I had the baby, I was not going to have him in a hospital, but my husband, my second husband, was scared. My 2 sons' father, and we are working on a relationship right now. There's a lot of things. This has been very difficult for us, and so, you know, we're all on different paths. The people that I know, each of us has a unique path, and so, you know, we are still doing what we can in order to support our 2 boys, and we have at least a relationship where we are talking and looking towards growth, and that's a good thing. But I just want to say he was living in fear too. He was doing the best he could, but last minute when I was in labor, he ended up calling, and I ended up having my baby boy, who is now almost 4, in the ambulance. The ambulance ride was only like 2 to 5 minutes away, and I had him right before we went in. They, of course, charged $2,000 for the ambulance ride for me, and then for him because he was born in the ambulance. And like I said, the first day was fine when we were there. The second day, they ended up, CPS came. So what I wanted to say about the hospital, and then I'm going to cut this short, is just that when I was there, it felt terrible. It felt terrible. After the first day, it was great. Everyone treated me great, and my husband. And then when CPS came, it was like everyone acted differently. Now the nurses were still very sweet and professional, but they were interrogating me, talking to me, asking me things, acting like I was an unfit mom and some criminal and stuff like that, and they would not let us leave. So there was no way out of that hospital. That's why I did not want to go into that hospital, as I wanted to spend as much time as possible with my newborn. And I did not, I mean, what was told to me was that he was going to be taken the minute that I had him, and I was not going to be able to hold him. And so I was blessed to be able to hold him. I was blessed that they didn't come for at least a day. But when he was 2 days old, CPS coursed us to give guardianship to my second husband's parents, just like they had our, at that time he was, I think, 3, almost 3, and so the 2 brothers were going to be together, and that was good. And you know, there's a lot of story in between. Like when they sent us back from Mexico, they sent me and my daughters to California, where my mom and my ex, their father, came and picked them up. And then my husband and 6-year-old, well, he was 3 at the time, he's 6 now, they were sent to Texas, and we were all made to find our way back home. Well, me, pregnant, 7.5 months pregnant, in the airport with only a dress on, no money, no blankets, no food, no nothing. And then they were dropped off, and luckily he had some pesos that he was able to convert into cash, so that, you know, they would have some money to live on, until I came back and made my way back to Oregon. And I sold a bunch of our stuff that we did have, because we had already sold everything before in order to pay for attorneys at the time. So we had spent nothing like what a lot of people have, but what we had was like $6,500 on 2 different attorneys, and they did nothing for us. They were working for the state. They were all part of, you know, working with the DA and stuff like that. It wasn't good, and I had no clue, and I have learned a lot since then. But this video really is more so about what took me out of the so-called medical system here, the conventional medical system, was all the stuff that I talked about up to the point of having my 5th baby, and him being taken, and me being locked in a hospital, realizing that this is a system that traps people, and there was no way out for me. And when I went on, you know, he was 2 days old and was made to go, well, I had a choice, but in order to try to protect him under the circumstances from being put into foster care, because that was the threat, I gave guardianship to my second husband's parents, mom and dad. Okay, not parents, but mom and dad. And so the 2 boys could be together, and then that's where my healing began. But I was in the court house, in the library, as they were filling out paperwork. My baby was crying. I was trying to produce milk with my thyroid issues, and knowing that they were going to be taken. And I have a recording saying by Crystal Fleming that there was no way that baby could go home with us. No way whatsoever. Isn't that interesting? In this day in America, right? If you look at this, in America, yeah, we are all free, but in the U.S., right? Not so much. 14th Amendment, U.S. citizens, that's where we've been asleep at the wheel. And that is how my newborn was taken from the hospital from me, and me feeling like I had no power and I had to give guardianship. Now, I never actually signed the paper to consent, but I did not go against it at the time because of the threat to put him and my other son into foster care, and just not knowing what to do, not having the tools to do anything. And that's why CPS came. That's, you know, because I was without wisdom and I didn't know how to stand on my square. But you know, this all has been used to wake me up, and I hope that my story helps you guys. I really wanted to come on just to kind of put it into perspective as to why I'm my own doctor. All these things added up, but the catalyst really was when my newborn was taken and just being locked in that hospital, and really being able to step back and seeing that this system is a big prison cell, you know, one big prison cell that we're all stuffed inside of and we can't even move. And so it's time to get that key from within our heart and to break free. And I feel very free, not having to go into these annual checkups, not being violated in these different types of exams that do not go after the cause or anything like that. I know that I can take care of myself. I know how to be alkaline and how to go about cleansing and yeah, raising my vibrations, and how to encourage myself. So that's all that's really needed is wisdom and motivation, and then yeah, the willingness to step out of our comfort zone and to accept new information coming in. I shut off the old all the time. Shut off those old belief systems. Make room for the new. And so I feel very free in that area. And the next area is freedom. You know, it's going to be one place, and then I'm going to work towards the next and the next and the next. And I'm doing it all in the present moment. So we can work towards our future in the present moment, you know, just keeping our sights on what's important to us. And our families are very, very important. Our health is very, very important. And so I just thought that this would be a good time to kind of bring this up, because I've been putting some videos out there about vaccines and about masks and about all this stuff. And this is why it's so easy for me to be able to look at the information that's being brought forth and who is presenting the information, their track record, and who has other information that's being silenced, and then my own journey that lets me know what has happened in my own life and how I was silenced and how I was bound up and chained, and my newborn was stripped away from me in a hospital here in America. And my other 4 little ones were taken from me based on false allegations and lies as well. I mean, it all comes back to CPS using presumptions, assumptions, and hearsay, and us being asleep at the wheel. I take full responsibility that I created and co-created this stuff in my life. I did not know that I was doing it. So now that I know that I need to be the author of my own story, that I am the author of my own story, we are all the producers, we're the directors, we're the actors and actresses. And so if we don't like our story, we don't like our movie, then we create a new one. That's what it's time for. So I'm creating this with all of you, and I'm thankful that you guys are here. And I just wanted to share this with you guys to motivate you and help you. You know, don't take my own word for it. And what I say, research for yourself and make sure that you take the path that is opened up for you. Just know that it's possible. Like my 6-year-old always says, anything's possible. All right? Love you guys so much. Namaste.